Good evening. It's June 30th, 2021, the Independent Redistricting Commission. We're going to call the meeting to order. I will start off with a roll call. Honorable Elizabeth Allen White.
Present.
Honorable Abraham Khan.
Present.
Honorable Chair Melinda A. Johnson.
Present.
Thank you. And then there's two roll calls on there, excuse that. We will start with the Pledge of Allegiance. Honorable Chair, if you would like to lead us off.
Yes. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Honorable Chair Johnson, are there changes to this agenda?
Could I inquire, Ms. Crisante, is Mr. Colon going to be with us today at all?
No, he is not.
Okay. I am unaware of any changes to the members of the commission. Any changes to the agenda that you would like to propose?
Yeah, very minor one.
Go ahead.
On the second page, it's just a spelling change. Instead of Carter, it should be Charter, section 1301.
Ah.
You see that on the second page towards the bottom?
Can you put that up on the screen?
I can't at the moment. I can grab it. My screen, I can only share this screen here.
Okay.
On
'Cause
page 2 of 3, just under where it says Judge Ochoa and Dr. Ebenstein supported the recommendation as amended.
okay,
And
so
then
that's
go
the minute.
down.
Is that the
Yeah, the
minutes of the
minutes.
last meeting? Okay, I don't think we're to that yet, but we will be. And
Oh, okay.
I'll fix that typo. Okay.
I thought we
I
were.
wondered why you had a page 2 of the agenda.
Okay.
Now I understand. Okay, we will bear that in mind and it should be fixed. All right, no changes as far as I can see.
Okay, wonderful. And next we'll go to public comment. For those who are attending the meeting, if you raise your hand within the app, we can call on you. You would have 3 minutes to speak on items that are not on the agenda. Do we have any individuals that would like to speak on items not on the agenda? We do not at this time.
All right. Then the next item is the approval of the minutes, and Judge Khan, page 2 of the minutes.
Yeah, I was ahead of myself, wasn't I? Yeah, page 2, where it says Carter, section 1301, it's just a spelling correction.
All right. Any objections to that amendment being made, Ms. White, Judge White?
No.
Okay, I agree. Any other changes to the minutes?
No.
Okay,
No.
could I have a motion to approve the minutes as amended?
So moved.
Second?
Seconded.
Very
Second.
good. Unanimously approved. Thank you. And now we will move on to the meat of our meeting. Can I assume, Ms. Acosta, that you're going to report on the City Council's actions and the status of the writ? Or Ms. Leone, are you going to? Usually we have Mr. Colon to guide us a bit.
Thank you, Your Honor. I will be reporting on the status of the City Council's action, and I believe that Ms. Leone will then follow regarding the status of the writ.
Thank you. Please go right ahead.
Thank you. So the City Council unanimously approved the ability to direct the initiation of the litigation and has, as recommended by the Commission on May 26, 2021.
All right. Good to hear. So, Ms. Leone, we're very glad to have you here. Thank you, and let us know where we stand. I'm not getting any sound from you. I can't tell if it's muted or if there's some other problem.
If this is David Lazarus, if Miss Leone, I'm a colleague of Miss Leone's at the Nielsen Merksmer Law Firm. If she's not able to speak up, I can give an update to the commission, but maybe give her a few more seconds to try.
Yes. I
On my
believe,
end, it's showing that she's self-muted, so she would just have to unmute herself.
okay, this is our expert advice from Ms. Grisanti.
How
There you
about
go.
now?
Got it. I think we hear you.
Not yet.
Oh, no, we lost you again.
Miss Leone, try one more time.
Should I go ahead and provide the update?
Okay, and I'm sorry, could you give us your name again, sir?
Yes, ma'am. This is David Lazarus, an attorney at Nielsen Merksmer and a colleague of Miss Leone's, and I've been working on the writ petition and supporting
Okay.
documents with her.
Thank you very much. Go right ahead.
The status of the documents is in near final shape at the moment. We have a draft petition as well as the supporting memorandum of points and authorities, a declaration from somebody in the city clerk's office, and a request for judicial notice. We think that those will be in close to final shape to share with the commission and others that need to review. And they're straightforward and request that the court reform the deadline in section 1301 of the charter, consistent with what the California Supreme Court has done in the Padilla and the legislature case, and are considering presenting a couple of options in terms of the formatting of the writ petition, whether that's going to be by notice, motion, or an alternative writ, is still being teed up for decision by final decision makers, but that's the current status. We think the drafts will all be in ready and final shape within several days, and we'll be ready to file them in very short order after that.
Okay. Let me start with the other members of the panel. I'm sure there are a variety of questions. Judge Khan, let me start with you. Anything you'd like to have further explicated?
Aside from the efforts that are being made to prepare the writ, were there any discussions undertaken with any of the Bonales plaintiffs in connection with modifications to the settlement agreement and to the stipulated judgment?
Your Honor, I don't know definitively what the status of those discussions are. Ms. Leone and I had been discussing the possibility of outreach. I don't know where that conversation stands. There's, some possibility that we could request for any kind of stipulated agreement to adjust the entry of judgment and relate that proceeding to the writ petition. But I'm sorry, I just don't have that information for you. I know Ms. Leone has additional information on the status of conversations and where that all stands.
As I recall, Judge Ochoa and Dr. Ebenstein were present during the previous public meeting we held back on May 26th, and they appeared to be very supportive of and understood that there was a need to, in addition to seeking writ, remedies, that it would also be required to modify those agreements. So, thank you.
You're welcome. I think that's our understanding as well. And from what I've been told, don't imagine that there there would be opposition or concern in reaching that that final status.
Judge Khan, we have,
Welcome.
Thank you.
Yes.
And I thank you very much, David. I missed the setting there. And I have nothing to add to David, Mr. Lazarus's fine report. Yes, so we have been in contact with the plaintiffs in Banyales. Our thought is to file the writ petition as a related case, given the jurisdictional statement in the stipulated judgment. The representative, the attorneys for the plaintiff in Banyales are supportive of modification of that settlement agreement. And it may be, we may also ask Judge Geck for a modification of the judgment. Nicely and fortuitously, Judge Geck is one of the judges on the Superior Court to whom this writ may be presented. And it may be convenient for all parties and to expedition if we are able, through a related case notice, arrive in her courtroom again. So we hope to have all of this worked out next week. The heavy lifting is done and that our papers are close to final. We did need the final minutes that you just approved, and those will be part of our request for judicial notice. And we are ready to proceed.
Judge White, anything you would like to ask?
I just had one question. What factors go into whether or not it would be an alternative writ or simply a noticed motion?
An alternative writ, the factor in my mind, Judge White, is the speed with which we can get the issuance of the writ. We can notice a motion. We are informed that's going to take us into the August timeframe. Now, the alternative writ is somewhat more complicated, but it's expeditious. We can go in on an order shortening time and seek that writ ex parte, have an order to show cause issued, and the return to the order to show cause would be an agreement by respondent to accept your plan at the later date. And I think what favors the alternative writ is expedition and the fact that we have cooperative parties.
To the extent that we are providing input on this, I would agree that the alternative writ would be the better way to proceed, only because you get clarity sooner. And with the status of the courts as they are post-COVID, it might be difficult to get a date.
Thank you. I agree with you, Your Honor.
Thank you.
I'd like to ask one practical question, and I'll continue going through the chairs. I think I heard Mr. Lazarus say that one of the steps is for the commission to review the pleadings. Our next meeting is not for 4 weeks. Do you need us to review them? And can we arrange something today, at least a process for which we can do so quickly?
I did not catch that on Mr. Lazarus. I was struggling with electronics, but we would be pleased to have you take a look at them so you know what they say. And I think that would be nice for you too. We are prepared to circulate them. As this is a Brown Act matter, we could, I'd have to look to staff, potentially schedule a special meeting,
Okay.
which could be done on the sole matter to take your feedback. An alternative within the Brown Act umbrella, and Michelle can certainly correct me on this, is you could send your comments back through staff, and staff would communicate them to us.
I have to say, my preference is always the more direct approach if possible. And also, if all three of us are giving you feedback together, we can ask questions and you can answer. I would like to see a special meeting if that's when it's ready, if that's okay with everyone else, only because I don't want to wait a whole month, certainly, to do that.
No, I definitely agree. I think we have to move on this. We will have census data that we're going to feel pressured without the protection of the writ.
Yeah.
So,
Judge Khan, I'll go back to you for any further comments or questions.
I have none.
Okay, Judge White,
No other questions.
how do both of you feel about having a special meeting when the proposed pleadings are done so that we can kind of chat about them as a group and have Ms. Leone and maybe Mr. Cologne, whoever we need to answer questions for us?
I agree. I think that would work well.
Okay. Judge Khan, is that all right with you?
Yes. Mhm.
Okay. Judge White?
I know that Ms. Leone and Mr. Lazarus will do a brilliant job, but it's always good to be informed, and more eyes are better than, I mean, this is so crucial. So I think it's good that we get multiple sets of eyes on it.
I'm mostly concerned about having people ask me questions about it at some point. You know, I just want to know what's out there. I don't expect to be able to kibitz you on this at all, or very little. Maybe I'll find a missing spelling or something, but.
No, it's in our interest to have you informed as well. We can notice that meeting, Michelle, if I'm not mistaken, in 24 hours. So I guess either Michelle or Nicole probably will check with your calendars, and right after the holiday, we can look to scheduling that. Michelle has reviewed papers. We have signatures on declarations. We just have to pull together the request for a judicial notice. We can provide the package to Michelle, who can work with Nicole to arrange for that meeting and get the papers to you right away.
Thanks.
Yes, we can do that. Thank you.
All right. Thank you. Anything else we need to know about where you stand? You've put something very complicated together in record time. Thank you very much.
Our pleasure.
I think the next thing is future agendas. Ms. Nicole is not visible to me, and she was moving us along, but are you there, Ms. Nicole? Okay, I'm going to move along to this because I think it's ready to go,
Here
right?
I am. Sorry, my delays on my switches are really slow, so you'll have to give me a second to pop back on.
What I saw in the materials was that, and I know this from last time, get the right notes here, is that on our next meeting in July, the 28th, I think, it's the 28th of July.
Right. Yes.
There's going to be a report on from the staff of a working outline on our so-called civic engagement plan, and there was a little parentheses suggesting we need a better name for this. I don't know. Do we need a name for it, or should we be thinking about something when the notices are sent out that is a grabber, or is it to be called something different? Did you pick that up, that they wanted a new moniker for this?
I'm not quite sure. I'm going to defer to Michelle on this one. I don't know what discussions have been talked about in renaming that. I don't believe we need to. I think it sounds fine, but that's just my personal opinion, and I'll defer to Michelle.
It sounded all right to me. There was just this reference. Ms. Sosa Costa, is there something we should be thinking about with respect to that?
I think that this was something that was brought up, but not necessary. I also agree with Nicole that I think that the name is clear enough, but happy to hear if others think differently. We are definitely open to changing the name.
Okay. Well, we can be thinking about that before the next meeting. I mean, you know, sometimes you want a grabber headline name, but this is serious business. We don't need to be cutesy about this. So, okay. And then in the August meeting, was going to be August 25th, we would be adopting the civic engagement plan. So is there anything else that we should be thinking about putting on either the July, the August, or any subsequent meetings at this point? And I'll ask Ms. Sosa Acosta about that first.
I believe that the July 28th meeting was also a working meeting to welcome feedback from the commission regarding the civic engagement plan, so that
Right.
there is open dialogue about that plan. So I just wanted to also add that.
No, that's what I understood. This was gonna be sort of a working paper that we would be commenting on. Okay. Ms. Leone, should we be writing anything to the agenda from your perspective?
Yes, I'm going to be a little tentative, and I'm following up on Judge White's comment. It would be nice if we had a writ issued by then. If we go hopefully we will provide an update on the litigation, the supplemental settlement agreement, and any modification to the judgment. So I think litigation update would be appropriate. And I'm going to say this with a bit of trepidation, simply because that's number one, simply because the history of this has been so unsettled. We may be able to report on the updated census data for the city as a whole and the existing council districts. There was a decision today in the Alabama case on the differential privacy issue. In that, in the pleadings and from the Census Bureau itself, there is a current commitment to have the redistricting data from the census perspective available on the 16th of August. So that will require some processing from the statewide database, but the statewide database has committed to doing that in a week. So with some luck, we will update you on the July meeting. We may be able to have a snapshot of the city under the new census data.
Well, that would be good progress. That'd be nice. Fellow commissioners, do you think that should indeed be a separate agenda item so the public's aware that that's one of the discussion points? Okay, I hear no objection. I update on census data.
My only comment is perhaps we should put it on the August report and not on the July report, not on the July agenda.
No,
Just
definitely August.
August, but not July.
Yeah,
Okay.
we will have it in July.
Okay, good enough. That would be on, and that is August 30th? What is that
August
date?
25?
August 20th. Yeah,
Is it
okay.
25 or 28? 25?
In August is the 25th and July is the 28th.
Right.
Correct.
It's
I
gonna
want
be-
to alert you that I may have a bit of a problem on the 28th. I'm going to be on a plane, and if I don't get there in time, I might not be able to attend the meeting, but I'm going to try and redo my travel plans so that I can be present.
Hope so, because we'll have a lot of information that day. So,
Exactly.
you know, is it possible? I guess if you're on a plane, you can't even speak by phone, can you? So, okay.
Probably not.
I was going to suggest phone, but then I realized that was silly. Okay. I haven't flown in a year and a half, right? We forget the rules. All right. Are there any other items that we should bring up before we adjourn today on behalf of the commission? Ms. Sosa Acosta, anything else from the city attorney's office?
None on our end, thank you.
Thank you. Ms. Leone, anything else you'd like to report or discuss?
No, thank you for your time, and nothing further for today.
Okay. All right. Thank you very much. Is there a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
Second.
Thank you. We'll make it unanimous, and we'll see you all in July, although we will probably see you before July 28th. We'll stand by and wait to hear from you and do the best to accommodate our schedules to reviewing it as quickly as possible. So
Thank you.
thanks, everyone.
Thank
Take
you.
care.
Bye-bye.
Have a good fall. Have a good fall.
Bye-bye.
Thank you.
Aye.
Bye-bye.
Okay.